You are in the Creator Lab, which was invented to show people that broadcast is changing and democratizing and bringing in lots of new people into the fold. We looked at the reg numbers here at NAB this year. There is a 105% increase in people who have self-identified themselves as content creators. So in the Creator Lab, you'll see wonderful exhibitors. You'll see our main stage area that is more of a think piece, but this is the place that you come, the classroom workshop, to learn the how-tos of your business. And we could only do this with the help of our partners. So I'd like to give a big shout out to Black Magic Design because they have been with us since the beginning and actually offer an array of products from the single independent uh, uh, content creator as they grow through the system to the Doormans and the Mr. Beasts and the people who are reinventing what we knew as broadcast. So for the next 30 minutes, I want to introduce you to two great creator companies, Brooklyn Quarter and CA in LA, both filmmakers, musicians, got wonderful experience in building studios, creating content, and they will tell you their stories and then invite you to join them in asking questions. Thank you again for being here. Enjoy.
Thank you all so much for being here. We're also going to just quickly introduce our two production companies. We are CA in LA. I'm Courtney, and this is Ashleigh. That is the CA of the LA, or in the LA part. And we are a multimedia company. So we do everything from script to screen in our film. We do live content as well. We are full-time streamers on Twitch, and that kind of funds the whole gig.
Excellent. Hey, everyone. I'm Danielle Beckmann and producing partner and my husband next to me, Timothy Reese. We are called Brooklyn Quarter. We are currently based in Los Angeles. We couldn't get rid of the name. We are an experimental production company. So we do everything from web series to short films. We host panels and do events at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. And we're embarking on making our first feature film, which I'll be directing. And we're very much into technology.
That's great introduction. Another project that we're working on right now is we're developing a TV show for an international audience.
Excellent. And so today what we're going to be doing is talking about on the go or at home production. CA and LA, we're both going to kind of cover both, but we're going to have them kick it off with talking about on the go practices, tips, tricks, etc. So take it away, ladies.
Thank you. So we are going to be touching on the go, but also on in studio production because Courtney and I, our background is we're from Maryland and we started a production company in 2013 and we create films from script to screen for the low budget filmmakers. So that is where everything started is don't be scared to have the no budget, shoestring budget approach to broadcast. And where Black Magic came into play was they've just created a really streamlined set of gear from cameras to being able to edit everything in Resolve. And now they just introduced all of the new releases with the iPhone app and that's linkable to an Apple Watch as well. So really excited to integrate that into our workflow when we get back to LA. But we started in film production and then we fell into Twitch in 2018. Twitch, for those of you that don't know, is a live broadcast platform that is interactive. You may know it as a gaming platform, but you actually can stream anything. We've been streaming music and film since 2018. And as Courtney mentioned, we have funded a lot of our projects, thank you, Ohana, through Twitch.
Yeah, as far as workflows and gear, something that we've noticed, and I'm sure all of you have noticed this as well, that when we're looking at gear, we're either talking about you're using an Airy or you're using your iPhone. And everyone's like, do the thing, just pick up your phone. And yeah, there is a middle ground here. And that's something that we want to talk about. And we will be talking about because an iPhone can do great things. But what is that next level? What are the DSLRs that we're using? What does it look like to use the people around you? So something to keep in mind is when you are editing, that you have so many incredible tools at your disposal. Keep in mind the editing platforms that are all upgrading their stuff. The fix it in post is not so terrifying as it used to be. And you have to remember that because what that means is now when you're on production, it's great to have a gaffer. It's great to have an AC. It's great to have a DIT. It's great to have all of these things, but As the industry starts to die in LA, I don't know if it's died anywhere else, probably, or as things get a little bit more expensive, a little more complicated, then that means we are leaning on our post-production workflows more than ever. So keep that in mind when you guys are attacking something and saying, I want to make a film, but how do I do that if I don't have a full crew? You really don't need it. And so we wanted to make sure we came up here and did not say, just simply use your iPhone, because it's so much more than that. Creativity is so much more than that. And there is the gear to support that kind of work. And we're seeing it all over the floor.
I'm going to devil's advocate this because it is so clutch that you have an amazing tool of your camera in your pocket. And so don't be scared and let that be a barrier of entry of, I need to have a really high quality camera. Sometimes for reels, just to get started, just set up your iPhone. It's okay. We've live broadcasted from our phone so that we have not only the live documentary essence of it, but we're also bringing our community on the road with us.
Another thing that is really important to us is multi-purposing your gear. It is so important to make sure that what you are buying is going to work for you in more than one area. Ashleigh and I being live broadcasters on Twitch and also working in short film and narrative and feature film, whatever it is that we're bringing in both spaces has to work. That means that when we have a film shoot, after we've streamed, we're breaking everything down and we're packing it up and we're bringing it to a film shoot. So if you are going to be investing in gear, make sure that it is going to be something that is going to work in more than one space, whether it is you're able to stream live from it. Hollyland has great cameras for that. Blackmagic has great cameras. And pick something that, like, what is it that you were trying to accomplish? I think we often think of the goal of, I want to be a successful creator. But what is that? In what area is that? Try to pinpoint it a little bit more, because then the gear will speak to those needs.
Yeah. And as far as a mindset approach that Courtney and I take, we do a lot of pre-production. So anticipating our needs, making sure that our cameras are set, making sure that we've tested all of our gear. I know that this might be preaching to the choir, but this is something that we've realized a lot of creatives don't do. They show up to their shoot, they show up to their project, and that's the first time they're plugging everything in. And just anticipate your problems ahead of time and have backups, have backup cables, have backup batteries, just have a contingency plan in case something doesn't work out.
100% that. But the mindset, I think, is something that's really important when it goes into creating, because we're thinking about the industry at large and what makes it worth it. Is it worth it to make films right now? Is it worth it to be a content creator now? What area is going to be the most beneficial to us? Because we want to do the things that we love. We don't just want to make the things for money. Of course, that's important. That's how we thrive and survive in this space. But something that Ashleigh and I always tell ourselves is, well, one, the end goal, but what is the thing that I need to do to remember to have fun in the exact thing that I'm doing? Yeah, TikTok reels and Instagram reels are honestly not that fun. They're just not, but they're a necessity. And what good is it if I'm going to put all of this work into what we're doing, and Ashleigh's going to put in immense amount of work into what we're doing, if nobody's going to be able to see it? And the biggest lesson that we've learned this year was, you're already doing the work. Just document it. That's it. Instead of seeing it as like, oh, I got to create all of these reels now. Oh, now I have to do all of this extra work and I have to do all this offline work for my online stuff, and getting really confused about it. Just have the mindset of, people need to see what I'm doing because your stories are worth telling. And I know that everybody says that all the time, but they are. The creator economy is growing, and we have it. We are now seeing so many more creators at NAB, which is newer to this convention. And so put your work out there.
Yeah. I'm sorry we didn't ask this beforehand. Can we get a raise of hands of how many of you are filmmakers? Okay, a couple. How many of you identify as content creators? No? Okay, some? Okay. And so the crossover between both of those fields is narrowing, and some people are really, really excited about that, while others are cringing, understandable. But a way that we've incorporated streaming into our storytelling as broadcasters is viewing it as live documentary. You are never going to get this moment back ever again. So if you view your broadcasts as a moment in time or history that you are documenting, that you get to share with a community from around the world, it really changes the way that you go about creating intentionally, and it doesn't become so fatiguing.
Yeah. And also, any moment is a chance to document it. We are live broadcasting to Twitch right now, and we are also using the DJI to film this and use it for later. So live broadcast, if you haven't considered getting into live broadcast, whether it is YouTube or Twitch, I highly recommend it because, again, you were already doing the thing. And this is a way that Ashleigh and I will now take this video and either post it to Patreon or chop it up into clips. If you are in the educational realm, then you can always use that and repurpose it. Same with gear. If you're repurposing gear, think about repurposing your videos, which I know people talk a lot about. But even in the midst of all of these things, instead of adding extra work, creating reels, use what you're already doing.
Yeah, and I think touching on some of our last tangents, we are musicians as well, and so we are constantly also having to bring broadcast on the road with us to be able to document those performances, and also we want to document those performances because our community from around the world is not able to fly into LA or fly into a coffee shop show. So think about it that way, and Blackmagic's ADEM switcher has been huge for having multiple camera angles. And then we bring all of that into our broadcast, and it makes it very, very easy for a 1-2-man band to be able to handle all of those production needs.
Also, I saw a lot of hands that were down when we were asking about film and broadcast. Can someone just stand up and tell me what it is that you're here for? Anybody, doesn't matter who. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Okay, so videography and learning the tricks of the trade. I love when videographers say learning the tricks of the trade because if you're filming, you're doing the thing already. And so much of what we forget is that our education comes from simply doing. And a lot of the times, like Ashleigh and I standing on this stage, has taken a long time for us to get here. And so much of it was just figuring it out as we went. There really isn't the place for, not that mentorships don't happen. They obviously do. But for the mass majority of us, they don't. And we all have to figure it out as we go. So the imposter syndrome is 100% real. We totally understand. But just get into it. Get into the videography, film everything and find your style. And there are always ways to make things more professional with all of the gear, but finding your voice is going to be the most important thing when it comes to the content creation that you have. Because yes, we want to stand out. There are the ways in which you use your hashtags or you are using the proper thumbnail, but your voice is going to be the thing that makes your brand stand out.
Yeah, don't be scared to create.
Yay, we agree. Hi, everyone. Thank you both so much. And we're going to chat more in a little bit. But once again, I'm Danielle Beckmann, Timothy Reese here. Yes, you have fans. I love it. And we're talking a little bit about at-home production. And so we're going to talk a little bit about your home network.
Yeah, so a background for us, Brooklyn Quarter, we started off in 2017 live streaming Dungeons and Dragons. And we started off kind of so early in that process that we were getting custom firmware from Elgato to run way more equipment than they had originally intended for their products. And it kind of got us on this arc of experimenting whenever we're doing filmmaking, experimenting with live streaming, with interview shows, with YouTube, and looking at every project we do as a big educational experience ourselves. And so I'm a writer, director, producer, cinematographer. I started off in broadcast news. Danielle started off in theater. And so the two of us coming together into filmmaking, we came from different disciplines, and it's really informed a lot of the decisions we make. And in the past 7 years, we've made 9 short films. And right now, as we're embarking on our first feature and also working on developing a show for international audiences, it's been interesting to be at NAB now and see the big changes in technology. And one of them that I just want to point out that's been really beneficial for us and changed our entire workflow, either live streaming at home in the studio or on set, is network video. And the idea of the way that networking is now integrating with basically everything that touches a film set. If you've not used products like Companion or Buttons or Mix Effect, then I just want to introduce you to the wonderful world of API control from a Stream Deck device. We use it whether we're working on a short film we did last year, Dr. Sam, that Danielle directed. We use it for anything we're doing for big professional broadcast events. We use it whenever we're doing small test network devices in our own home. And a big change that we've had is kind of realizing how many network devices are in our house. There's over 60 products that we use that have network ports, which is wild. And it kind of accidentally happened. And I've realized that this year we really invested in our home network. So if you're a newer filmmaker, newer creator, or established, I would really recommend looking at the way you integrate your home network. We're on Unify Systems now, Ubiquity Network. We're also TP-Link Omada is another great entry into that. And especially coming from a Blackmagic perspective, if you're buying their equipment, everything they have is positioned toward network video now, whether that's running SMPTE 2110, which is their new IP video standard for compression for 4K, whether that's just connecting your ATEM to your network to control it with an ease of use. Their new Fairlight products that are now all internet connected. So,
Yeah.
And besides that, another thing we've really transitioned to is wireless video. Do you want to talk about that for Dr. Sam?
Sure. Yeah. Well, Timothy, you built me this custom
Yeah.
build, so maybe you can talk about that. But the idea of, being as a director, having that wireless video monitor on set. So if I want to slide in and talk to the actors, if I want to ping back to the DP, or not, you're just not stuck in Video Village, something like that on set, which is, of course, out on the go, but it's also, we found in our home, has been very helpful as well. Whether that's, I myself am also an actor, I do self tapes. We have other colleagues and actors come over and run their self tapes in our studio. So having that mobility has been really helpful. Do you want to talk about that build?
Yeah. So working with wireless video, it used to be the case you're going to spend, 10 years ago, it was a $40,000 device that had really high powered antennas on it. It was quite scary and got warm. Nowadays, with 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz video, you have a really reliable package for 90% of the environments that we're in. Unless you're in a room this big where you got to broadcast across the entire space, you can pick up a Hollyland unit like a Pyro that will sort you out very quickly. And a lot of filmmakers I've found are still renting the gear. And as a result, you only get access to it when you're on set. This stuff is only $200 or $300. So if it's an investment that makes sense, suddenly when you need to light something in your home studio, you're not constantly walking back to the monitor trying to figure out what the lighting angle was. You can actually have it with you. A lot of this stuff also, again, IP video dumps it right on your network and you can open it on an app on your phone. And that has made a huge difference for us. So that whenever we were on set for Dr. Sam, I built Danielle a small Hollyland rig with a small wireless unit on it. I'm running it into an extra confidence monitor, a little HD 7-inch monitor I had from Lilliput on a little cage. And suddenly on that film set where we're shooting on an Alexa Mini LF, she's still able to walk around quickly on our own equipment that I don't have to wait for to be set up by the ACs. I can just walk in and immediately drop it on. Yeah. And so we've now incorporated it into every shoot we do, which has changed our entire workflow by being disconnected from having to sit behind a monitor and make adjustments.
Yeah. And on that note, with all of these things, our parting tip that we would like to really stress, and that is sometimes overlooked, and I myself overlook it a lot, which is reading the manual.
Yes.
If you read the manual front to back on these things, it's going to make your life so much easier. Timothy, go off.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things, we represent a community of filmmakers in Los Angeles as part of Brooklyn Quarter. And one of the things that often happens of the 650 or so filmmakers that are part of our community. Yeah. One of the 650 filmmakers part of our community, one of the normal things that happen, we tend to be a little more technically savvy than average in our community. So we get a lot of questions from folks when we work on a project and they see the rig we built or what we were using on set, or they see the byproduct of what we shot. And I found that often the gap that folks have is they just don't read the manual on the products we have. It's honestly I don't mean the quick sheet. I don't mean the 3-page PDF that comes in the box whenever you get it. And it's like, hey, here's how you turn it on. Here's how you push a button to pair it with the device. It's the actual in-depth manual. And the reason I say that is when we first started really experimenting, we dug into the manual on the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro ISO SDI, right? It's like 250 pages long. It's incredible what the device can do if you read the manual and then realize all the different ways you can use it they didn't intend. Now they're completely down with that. They want you to use their devices in weird ways, but it also kind of made me realize how often I was not looking at a project with fresh eyes simply because I didn't know what I had bought and I didn't know what to buy. And that's really changed in the last 2 years as we've dug into the documentation on everything we owned, especially when it comes to interconnecting everything. And again, the unlocking that has happened now with a lot of their API commands you can do for these devices, again, with these easy to integrate companion buttons, devices like that on your network, you can control all of the deep functionality that allows you to do things like run the devices in beautiful animations that are not normally built into the feature set using third-party products. All that's from the reading the manual. And it's really just changed the entirety of our workflow.
You're better than me. No, just kidding. I'm still, see, I've been converted to read the manual. We would love to open it up to any Q&A, any questions anyone would have about any of the things that we have chatted about over the last 20 minutes. Don't be shy. We'd love to say hello.
Or any questions about the specific areas that we work in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to answer those too.
Right here.
Just interested in the size of the kits or the kit that you take on the road with you.
We are literally broadcasting from a backpack right now. So this has 4 modems in it. Thank you. Yeah. It has 4 modems in it. It's got an encoder. We have everything powered off a battery, and we've got a Sony Action Cam, and we're going straight into Twitch. We could multi-stream to as many places that we wanted, but it's literally, we carry it on our back. So you can go that small and robust, but you can also do a full build out a little bit bigger with like an ADEM and then link everything in with HDMI cables, which we've also done.
We try to fit in a backpack. That's our goal, and we are successful 99% of the time.
We tend to go a little bit in the middle when we try to fit in a Pelican case. So for us, like last year when we spoke last year, and we had our fly kit here that we had built that is basically a full-fledged 8-channel mixer in a rolling SKB roto case, and
It does roll.
it
but
does
it's
roll.
Not a bad
It's not, it's the difference between like 8 pounds and 45 pounds. It's a little intense to take on a subway, but when it comes to going in, we have a kit now that we can run an 8-camera shoot on that is fully integrated into pull-out drawers and everything, all power integrated, that would fit on this little table here, and we can run it at Comic-Con with no worries. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look around the show floor, you'll see a couple of examples of very transportable, small backtop type setups.
Any other questions?
Yeah, we want to know, do you take more clothes or cables with you when you travel?
That's such a great question. We drove from LA, and so I have no lie 4 backups of every cable, but then we also have a giant bag of outfits.
When we travel, we have our carry-on case is all of our tech. And that is its whole job is to carry all of our tech. So when we do any remote shoots, and so it'd be amazing to bring a Pelican, but when you're traveling, when you get on an airplane, that's just not something that we're trusting. So everything is going to go into our carry-on case. A lot of cameras, backup batteries.
How often do you get checked? They stop us a lot.
Every time.
I've got a tip here. It's a secret tip because I started off in broadcast news. For those of you who travel for events and you have a lot of equipment you need to take on a plane, you can go to every major airline with a pass. It has to be a physical document. You can make it yourself that says you're a media company, and you can check up to 23 additional bags that are called media bags. They have fixed dimensions. You can check all the carriers on their websites. Just search media bags on their airplane website. It's like $75 for Delta per bag. But whenever you're taking like, a $350,000 kit, you need to get to another country. That's how you do it without shipping it in a freight container. But it's available for everyone. You have to have a physical document at the gate to do it. Yeah.
Good tip. Any other questions?
I'm super overwhelmed by the amount of products available. So I'm wondering how you research or find inspiration and filter just the amount that is out there and available.
Yeah, for me, the things that I look for are, does it allow, and this is going to sound silly, is it network connected in any way? Is it Wi-Fi or is it Ethernet? Another one is, does it already have an existing package inside of BitFocus Companion, which is basically the repository to how to control all these devices? And then beyond that, I look at the flexibility it has of ecosystem. So one of the things I love about, for example, one of the things I love about Blackmagic is their stuff works in their own ecosystem and in whatever ecosystem. They don't lock it down. And so that's typically the 3 things that I look for when I'm going through.
Also, just real quick here, because there are so many things, we have discovered new brands and new, workflows here. And then it's the relationship we have built just by meeting people in person.
Yeah.
which is a luxury now, and discovering their things and seeing what works for what type of production, whether it is like an interview to talking heads live stream, or if it's, you know, a film grade set. So I think the relationship with certain companies also has come from meeting them here, which is cool.
That's great.
One more thing to that is start identifying where your pain points are, because that's what we use when we're looking for gear, because there is a lot. You're absolutely right. And so we're like, what need needs to be met before we start even looking into all of that? So identify those, and then affordability is our number one after that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think to add to that, this show is a great place to ask questions. So, for example, we were here last year, we showed Adobe how noisy all of our videos were, and they showed us the one thing we needed to do to cut out background noise. This morning, we spoke to YouTube about how to elevate our videos and gave us 4 tips that will rock our world. So this is a great place to actually ask people for information. So you're going to sing for us now?
We still have time for, I think, 1 or 2 more. Yeah.
I saw him raise his hand.
No questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please come up and say hi.
Yeah,
we'd love to meet you.
Please do. And all of these are our Instagram handles under here. But we also, you can find us on brooklynquarter.com, and you all.
CANLA.com. Hang out on Twitch. We'll put you to sleep with harmonies.
And
Hey.
definitely, if you want the best cappuccino at the show, head to the Black Magic booth.
Yeah.
They are good partners and good supporters, and make a mean cappuccino in the booth. And thank you so much for being with us. Thank you to CA and LA and Brooklyn Quarter for gracing us with your presence. We'll see you all at the show. Thank you.
Thank you.